We set out a vision before the election to work in partnership with the new government to deliver not only economic activity, so £1 billion for the economy every year and employing 1 million people in the sector, for example, but also to provide the investment to regenerate our towns and cities and to create great places for people to live, work and relax. And we're really encouraged that the government understands the potential of our sector. So it's notable, for example, that the biggest announcement since the election bearing on real estate and housing was through the National Productivity Plan, which suggests that they understand that creating great places helps economic activity be driven and helps productivity. So that's all very positive. And of course, they're also very focused on housing, and we know there's a housing crisis. So we're working very hard in partnership with them on all those issues. Well, what markets hate most of all is uncertainty. So what we've been calling for is clarity as soon as possible over the timetable for the referendum and the parameters for it. And I think that's the key thing for us at this stage. Obviously, anything that bears on the ability of housing associations or social landlords to drive investment and to generate funds is potentially a cause for concern. But actually, potentially of more significant concern for housing associations will be the settlement that we see later on in the year in the spending review. So that's one to watch out for, I think. Well, it should mean, and I think will mean, that they have more opportunity to plan the housing development that's right for their area. So, for example, in Manchester, they've identified a need for 55,000 homes, and that'll generate 100,000 new jobs and support them, and it'll enable them to capture more of the students that leave their universities and provide for their flexible mobile workforce through build to rent. So that's a key part of their plans. And around the country, there'll be opportunities for local authorities not only to drive investment, but also to deliver on the ground through single funding streams and through creating that clear vision locally. First thing probably to say is that we very much support the government's priority to look at brownfield first, and there is plenty of opportunity there and plenty of sites, particularly close to existing transport links, where we think there's a real opportunity to bring those sites back into use. But ultimately, we know this is an issue about which people feel really strongly, but we also feel strongly about the need to provide houses for our children and grandchildren. So it's a public debate, it's a political debate, and it's a debate that will have to be had. We don't think it's for the real estate industry to lead that debate, but we very much want to be a part of it. And judging by Property Week last weekend, increasingly the companies that I represent and the sector believes it needs to have a voice in the debate.